Dear all, thank you for coming to the second webinar of EN.I.R.I.S.T, the National Research Infrastructure of Shipping, Logistics and Transportation. In this second webinar, we're going to present to you the EN.I.R.I.S.T services for passenger and new mobility forms. Let me share my screen. Just to recap, for those of you who has not seen the previous presentation for presentations, the introductory presentation for the logistic webinars, just to let you know that EN.I.R.I.S.T is a consortium of 11 partners, 8 universities from all over Greece, as you see, and 3 research institutions, and we are mainly working, all of us, in the fields of shipping, transportation, and logistics. So based on the colleagues, based on their expertise, they are focusing on specific topics that they are most interested in. Therefore, within EN.I.R.I.S.T and EN.I.R.I.S.T Plus, we have developed 8 different platforms. The first platform, the 2 platforms, the Comarpol and the decision tool for shipping and financial market, are going to be presented in our 3rd workshop following this one. We just presented the inland and intermodal freight transportation, and in this webinar, we're going to focus on passenger and active transport platform. Of course, some of the services developed in the other platforms, we try to introduce them in these 3 workshops that we are presenting to you. For this passenger and active mobility platform, we have developed a series of services. As you can see in this page, we are going to focus at the blue services with the presentations of today, because we want to keep the webinar into 45 minutes length. So we decided to pick some presentations for these services, but all of those you may want to find if you visit our website. This is our agenda for 45 minutes, but before getting into the agenda, I would like you to visit our platform. This is the QR code for the passenger and active transportation platform for whomever is interested in checking the services, downloading data, primary or secondary data, or seeing the results of our analysis. And it is really important if you can also evaluate our activities. We have been given a grant from ELIDEC in order to disseminate our activities. We have a new website. We are very strong into social media, banners. We have done videos or conferences and workshops or events. And if you have seen all these different activities in the social media, please scan this barcode and reply to our questionnaire. This will make us become as best as possible. So I would like to invite you all to enjoy this webinar, starting our first presentation from Professor Georgios Georgiadis from Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, who is going to present us the road safety platform.
Thank you. Good morning. I hope that I can share my screen. Okay. Okay, in this presentation, I'm going to present you the Road Accidents Information Center for Greece. The acronym is EN.I.R.I.S.T, and this is part of the EN.I.R.I.S.T services for passenger transport and new mobility forms. Okay, this DEAR is fully operational and openly accessible from early 2023. It collects, analyzes traffic accident data, extracts relevant indicators, and evaluates road safety at various geographic levels in Greece. It provides users with various safety-related indicators at different spatial levels, and it enables cross-regional and period-over-period comparisons. We had to combine two different data sources in order to develop DEAR. The first one had to do with road traffic crash data. Here we used a 10-year crash database from 2010 till 2019, which was provided by the Hellenic Statistical Authority, and this dataset contained the road traffic accidents that happened all over Greece during this 10-year period. And the other data source, we use demographic, socioeconomic, land use, and transport data from various sources, such as the Hellenic Statistical Authority, Eurostat, or OpenStreetMaps. This is the full list of the 32 indicators which are delivered by DEAR. I'm not going to read all of them, just some examples. Indicator number 5, for example, says the share of road traffic accidents involving vulnerable users. And indicator number 13 says share of road traffic accidents with fatalities. And as you can see from this table, all these indicators are provided in 4 different spatial levels in Greece: communities, municipalities, regional units, and the national territory. So now, if any user is going to visit DEAR, first of all, will have access to general information regarding national road safety trends. Then, by using specific drop-down menus, he or she will be able to select between different spatial levels. And then by using the next 2 drop-down menus, he or she will be able to select between different categories of indicators and specify the exact indicators that he or she wants to view. But before that, he or she will be able also to select between 1 or more than 1 years where he or she wants to see the results of these indicators. Then the results may be displayed in various formats. For example, bar charts that you can see in this screenshot, or maps, or even tables that he or she can download with the exact values of these indicators. So to sum up, DEAR is able to provide road safety level information at multiple spatial levels for the entire country, to identify areas in need of road safety interventions, to contribute for these reasons to the effort to achieve the long-term vision for zero losses. It facilitates entities that do not have the ability to collect and analyze such data accordingly. It helps to clarify and document the need for investments in new infrastructure, projects, and services, and by collaborating with relevant European research infrastructures, weaknesses in Greek road safety measures and policies could also be revealed. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Georgiadis, for your presentation. I would like to invite Dr. Alexandros Stoukopoulos, again from Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, to present us the strategic transport planning model.
Hi all, give me a minute to share my screen. So, I guess you can see my screen. My name is Alexandros Stoukopoulos, and I will present to you the simulation of an urban transport service, which is accessible through the EN.I.R.I.S.T portal. So, this service relies on supply and demand data as regards the first, road links, geometry and characteristics, road nodes, rail links and stations, air links and airports, maritime links and ports are included, while the second data category includes data such as the annual average daily traffic, vehicle kilometers, train passengers, coach passengers, etc. It should be noted that this service is based on the microscopic traffic simulation model which was developed in the framework of the National Strategic Plan of Greece, and specifically on an updated version which was calibrated with new data referring to the year 2019. So, as regards the functionality of the service considered, users can select one of the 4 transport modes included, namely road transport, air transport, rail and maritime, in order to access a number of relevant data. Based on user selection, a tailored submenu is displayed containing the various data available. Here, for example, you can see that road transport is selected, and users are able to access a number of different data, such as free flow speed, number of lanes, vehicle flow to capacity ratio, traffic assignment zones, annual average daily traffic, etc. This data is displayed on a dynamic map where users can zoom in and zoom out and click for additional information, while also users can download the illustrated data in a shape file format. As you can imagine, using this service can have multiple benefits. More specifically, the service can contribute to the development of traffic simulation models here in Greece. It can also facilitate the conduction of environmental impact assessment of relevant services and infrastructure. It can attract, therefore, investment interest for relevant projects. It can contribute to the optimal pricing of road infrastructure projects. It can also help the conduction of cost-benefit analysis, and finally, the service can contribute to carrying out feasibility studies. I would like to note that access to the simulation of inter-urban and urban transport service is open and free, and no sign-up is needed. Therefore, I would like to highly encourage everyone to give it a try and visit it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zoukopoulos. I would like now to call Assistant Professor Ioanna Pagoni from University of the Aegean to talk to us about reimagining transport, autonomous vehicles, and urban air mobility.
Hello, everybody. I hope that you can hear me.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Ioanna Pagoni. I'm an assistant professor at the University of the Aegean, and today I'm going to give you a brief presentation about 2 services that we have developed in EN.I.R.I.S.T as part of the passenger and active transport platform. These 2 services are related to the autonomous vehicles and the urban or advanced air mobility. Basically, these are 2 of the, let's say, most innovative services in our platform in terms of, because we are looking these 2 new and emerging services. So for both services, the main idea is that we collect and analyze primary and secondary data, both from Greece but also outside Greece. We develop econometric models, and the idea is that we use this analysis and this data in order to identify what would be the implications of the deployment of these 2 services, autonomous vehicles and advanced air mobility in Greece, and support in that way the decision making. So let me start with the first one, autonomous vehicles. As I told you before, we collect primary data. We did a questionnaire survey to individuals. If you visit our service, you can see that we have analyzed this data of the individuals, their characteristics, some demographics, some of their current travel habits, what kind of transport modes they currently use, what kind of trips they make, some attitudes towards autonomous vehicles or in general technological innovations for transport. And as I said before, we developed econometric models, and of course our scope is to visualize all these results through diagrams and tables, etc. As part of the same service of autonomous vehicles, we have collected several data from existing trials on autonomous vehicles. So you can visit our website and see the data that we have collected about these demonstrations. And we have analyzed this data, and we provide diagrams and tables with this analysis based on the characteristics of these trials. For example, where they have been deployed, what kind of type of autonomous vehicles they used, the level of automation of the autonomous vehicle. And of course, again, we visualize all these results in diagrams, but also interactive maps where you can see in these maps, so you can choose the specific trial and see the characteristics of these trials. As you can see in the map, these trials extend not only in Europe, but also in the United States, for example. As for the second service, which is related to advanced air mobility, but also air transportation, the scope for this service was to try to gather all the data that are related to air transportation for Greece in one unique platform. So we collected secondary data, for example, air traffic for passengers and freight, but also data about the airport infrastructure in Greece. And we again visualized the data that we collected, but also some kind of analysis that we made in diagrams, tables, and maps. And of course, the user can also download the results or either on spreadsheets, on Excel files, or in PDFs and figures. As part of this service of the air transport service, there is one more analysis related to advanced air mobility, where we analyzed this new service, this emerging service for using this small aircraft for urban or inter-urban mobility. We collected the primary data, again through questionnaire surveys, and analyzed this data from the end users, apart from demographics and current travel habits of the users, also some choices related to the adoption of advanced air mobility. And we developed some econometric models to see what would be the user acceptance of this new transport mode. Additionally, we have conducted some interviews with key stakeholders in Greece and in Europe in order to see the concerns and opinions and challenges related to the implementation of this new service. If you visit our platform and these two specific services, you can see all the analysis. Of course, feel free to contact us in case you have any questions or you need any support on the usage of our data and our services. Thank you very much for being here and for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Pagoni. Let me invite Dr. Evstathios Bouchouras from Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. He's going to talk to us about the subject of well-being and transportation. Is Stathis here? If Stathis is not here, Anatos, Stathis,
Yes, but we cannot hear you.
We cannot hear you. Stathis, we cannot hear you. So I'll go on to the next speaker, and then perhaps you find another way to connect. Professor Dimitris Dimitriou, Assistant Professor Maria Starzetaki, and Mrs.
I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yes, perfect. Okay.
Okay, I'm terribly sorry about that. Terribly sorry.
Okay, so let's skip this.
I will share my screen now. Hopefully you can see it. If not, please inform me.
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Thank you. I will start. I have 5 minutes to present to you to refer to the well-being and transport, and to be more precise, the level of satisfaction using various transport modes. And from the initial stages of the project EN.I.R.I.S.T, we acknowledged that we had to collect data and calculate the level of satisfaction of people using various transport modes. And to do that, we dedicated one of our services to that objective. And to achieve it, we designed and implemented a questionnaire-based survey, which initially was planned to be addressed to the general public, but due to technical difficulties, we finally decided to address it to the academic, administrative, and research personnel, as well as the students of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. That means that our area of interest was the metropolitan area of Thessaloniki. Now, we conducted, using an online platform, survey 2 consecutive years, that for the year 2021 and the year 2022. For the first year, we collected in total about 1,500 questionnaires, of which something more than 400 concerned students and were analyzed. And for the year 2022, we collected almost 800 questionnaires, of which something less than 500 were concerned students and were analyzed. We used an algorithm to calculate the level of satisfaction using this data, which was
Chuck,
developed.
I don't know, we are still in the first page. I don't know if you have that.
Okay, give me just a second. That's a common problem when sharing. I will share my screen. These are the difficulties, technical difficulties sometimes we face during a webinar. Now, do you see the first slide? Do you see the second slide now?
No, just the first.
Yeah, not okay.
Yes, no, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Now, as I said, this is the identity of the survey. I will proceed to what we did regarding how to calculate the level of satisfaction. We used an algorithm which was developed from the European Commission in the framework of a quite relevant project in 2015. And of course, we had to adjust it and make the proper assumptions to use it. You can see here just a sample of the comparative analysis we conducted, both in terms of statistical analysis as well as an in-depth analysis. And you can see here some of the many figures that we produce and are hosted in our service, which can be visited, and the users can use the data to have produced such figures. The figures concern not the first section of the questionnaire, which was about the socio-demographic information, and the second one, which was the core of the questionnaire, about the habits, the patterns, the choices, and of course, the perceived level of satisfaction of the students. These again are just a sample. As you can see, they refer to 2021 compared to 2022. Now, as I said, using all the data and the algorithm developed by the European Commission, we calculated the level of satisfaction of the students of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki for the 2 years. And this is a 10th level scale. As you can see, 0 is the lowest, 10 is the highest value that the level of satisfaction can achieve. And as you can see, the students are not satisfied by the level of the provided services by the public transport in the city of Thessaloniki. And by that, in the city of Thessaloniki, we mean city buses. On the contrary, they are quite satisfied by their private car as used as drivers or as passengers. And that conclusion is quite alerting for of course, for the public transport operator, for the urban planners, for the local authorities, and as well the authorities of our university. And again, all of these data are free to be visited and to be exploited. And for the future, we intend to repeat the survey addressed to the students of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, and of course expand it by overcoming the technical difficulties to the general public. Finally, we're in the process of developing a new indicator concerning mobility focused in island regions. I think that I overcame the time loss. Thank you very much for your time and your attention.
Thank you very much, Stathi, for your presentation. Now it is the turn of Professor Dimitriou, who is going to present us the Observatory for the Interoperability of Infrastructure and Networks.
Thank you very much. I will try as briefly I can to present you. I don't know if you can see the slides.
Yes, everything is okay.
Great. So this approach starts with an EN.I.R.I.S.T that we describe three main things. First of all, we analyze the real needs of the transport society, including three categories: academics and research institutions, enterprises and their organizations, where we analyze the needs in order to finally highlight the key outputs in terms of data management services that the EN.I.R.I.S.T will provide. Secondly, we analyze the key data for the evaluate the transport demand in Greece, and the third package was regarding the socioeconomic effects of transport enterprises and especially transport operators in business ecosystem of regions and in Greece in general. So we develop a series of KPIs in order to evaluate that. Based on that, we move a step forward.
Dimitri, sorry, I don't know if you are in the next slide because we are seeing also the...
Now even the next slide. So based on that, we evaluated, we developed critical research infrastructures through the EN.I.R.I.S.T and the EN.I.R.I.S.T+. We are included a new research laboratory on subject. Sorry that my mobile is writing continuously. I try to close it, okay. And also a network of experts through the social media that we promote key outputs regarding the performance of transport operators in the region of EN.I.R.I.S.T. And through a series of workshops, research and outputs, finally, we move on to develop an interoperability of infrastructure observatory that you can see in that platform, where all of the previous socioeconomic impact...
Sorry, Dimitri, we still see the first slide.
It's the first now.
Can you move to another one? So because...
Now it's the second one.
Yes, now we can see, yes.
Sorry. So I said that the key outputs according to the EN.I.R.I.S.T+, that is the continuous part of the EN.I.R.I.S.T, is to develop a research laboratory as I described, and a lot of research documents and outputs for socioeconomic effects, and also the key data to evaluate the transport demand and also the performance of transport operators, mainly focused on EN.I.R.I.S.T and region of EN.I.R.I.S.T and region of East Macedonia and EN.I.R.I.S.T. And after that, we develop an observatory where we collect all the necessary data and develop KPIs for describing the performance of transport operators in terms of how they organize their activities and how they provide and evaluate their performance for accommodate demand in the region of EN.I.R.I.S.T. This platform developed through the analysis, as I described, about the needs of the market, the needs of enterprises, and so according to a top-down analysis, we evaluated conceptually, we developed that platform. And this is open, of course, to the audience, and open to the research society, open to enterprises. And you can see that we provide outputs in terms of bars and graphs, and of course, newsletters describing in periodically 6 months on year, annually, and half a year, the effects. Also, there is a list of publications that you can find in our, let's say, website, in EN.I.R.I.S.T+ website, where we describe all this methodological background. And now we move forward in order not to have ex post analysis, but real-time data in order to evaluate performance through, and we try now to invest in taking this data directly by use EOT equipment like sensors and cameras, where we try now to invest on that part and have, let's say, also provide real data information to the users. Very briefly.
Thank you very much, Dimitri. This is great. After all these 6 years, to try to put it in 5 minutes. And last but not least, Dr. Athina Tsiriba from University of the Aegean. She is going to talk to us about the services of micromobility and mobility as a service.
Hi, hello everybody. Give me a second to open the presentation and share my screen.
So we are on time. This is a perfect 12:30 is for Athena, the time for five minutes. So then we will have also the opportunity to have 10 minutes of questions and answers as well.
Okay. You can see it. You can.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so hello everybody. I'm going to discuss about the services that have been developed regarding micromobility and mass mobility as a service. Regarding the micromobility, as part of the platform, the respective service, in the respective service, we collected primary and secondary data in order to identify the current status of micromobility in Greece. And also at the same time collect through a number of pilot programs information regarding users' acceptance, level of usage currently, and preferences regarding the use of micromobility. So in the platform, as you can see, these are print screens from the service per se. We have two distinguished sections, let's say, the supply and the demand. On the supply area, we have identified in a map existing, ongoing, or future, or already concluded micromobility services. So anyone can actually access the service and see the current status regarding micromobility services, either private, public, or shared systems that currently exist. While on the demand side, as I said, we have already concluded a pilot in EN.I.R.I.S.T Island involving students, while at the same time we are in the process of, we just kicked off a pilot demonstration including e-scooters at the research center of Demokritos, and in the coming month at the American University of Greece. So this is an indication of the map indicating the existing services, either public or private bike sharing systems or e-scooter system across Greece, with different colors. As you can see from the map, we identified systems that are currently operating, that the systems that are still with the red color and with the triangle that are out of operation, and future systems as they have been indicated by a number of public announcements and procurement process that has been followed the past few months in different municipalities across Greece. So anyone that would be interested in acquiring more information regarding this type of services and micromobility status in Greece can, apart from the map, by entering the service in the platform, can acquire more detailed information about existing offerings from private companies, from bike sharing systems, or in which municipalities a future bike sharing system should be anticipated. And also in terms of the demand side, as I said, we have already concluded a case study in EN.I.R.I.S.T and we are on the process of demonstrating e-scooter services at Demokritos and the American College of Greece with a collaboration of COOP and Evedima. As you can see here, these are some basic statistics from the survey we did in EN.I.R.I.S.T. So as the demonstrations evolve, the service in the respective platform would be populated with more information regarding the attitudes, perceptions of individuals, awareness levels, and usage of such systems. And another service that we have been working on involves mobility as a service. Mobility as a service, we focus mostly on identifying and understanding a bit better the potential willingness of individuals to join an intercity or rural mass scheme as opposed to urban mass schemes that are more research, let's say, or established in across Europe. What can someone find while entering this service in the platform? Some basic qualitative information regarding existing mobility as a service schemes across Europe. We didn't only focus in Greece, although the primary research of this service was focused on identifying rural, as I said, or suburban mass. So you can find information on mass schemes that are currently active or non-active in different parts of the world. Those of you that may be more familiar with MASS, you should know that MASS has been developed primarily as an urban alternative, where different modes can be combined using an application and a service provider. What we tried to do, and we're still further developing, working on this, is to see how mobility as a service can be applied in the Greek context, taking into consideration the multimodality and the connectivity between the mainland, the hinterland, and a number of islands that we have. So as you can see, this picture indicates the intermodality, multimodality that we envisage that MASS can actually support. And we have included in the respective service statistics, information from the surveys that we have conducted so far regarding users both from the demand as well as from the supply side. So from the demand side, users' willingness to purchase or acquire a MASS package that will involve transportation to and within the islands, as starting from the mainland, as well as from the supply side of potential existing service providers on collaborating and offering a MASS package. Thank you for your attention. That would be all from my side as well, I think.
Thank you very much, Athina. This is perfect. Let's get if you have any questions at the Q&A box. To Dr. Bouchouras, I see one question from Gadir. Hello, Gadir. Thank you for joining our webinar. Your presentation was about student satisfaction with public transportation and car as driver or driver. Could you please explain what factors have been considered in your study as demonstrators of satisfaction? Stathi, we cannot hear you.
Now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your question. It was using private cars as drivers or passengers, but yet I get the question. Regarding the private cars, we examined and asked the students about reliability, time travel, cost, congestion phenomena, accessibility, availability of parking spaces, as well as passengers' comfort, of course, safety and security. So there were many aspects of a trip using the private car, and yet they provided information using the adjustments and the algorithm that we had on our hands, allowed us to calculate the level of satisfaction. For public transport, there were some similar features about the safety and security, the cleanliness of the vehicles, accessibility, reliability, time travel, cost, safety and security on board or at the stops, and many others. But of course, you can visit our service and the EN.I.R.I.S.S.T website and our service and get more information on that. But hopefully I gave you some information and then I answered your question.
Thank you, Stathis. I do not see, here. Okay, I do not see any other question. Therefore, I would like to thank all the colleagues for this presentation, for keeping the time, but especially for being working all together for the past 6 years in order to develop all these platforms and services. And for those who do not know, in EN.I.R.I.S.T, EN.I.R.I.S.T Plus, more than 400 researchers, young researchers, have worked with the 40% females, which is really important because the fields of engineering, shipping, and transportation and logistics are usually preferred by men. So this was a great achievement. We had a lot of researchers, and we and EN.I.R.I.S.T helped a lot in recruiting new talents, and we hope to continue at this at the following years with the further development of EN.I.R.I.S.T. So thank you very much for participating in our workshop for passenger transportation, and looking forward to see you also in the third workshop, which starts in 20 minutes from now at 1 o'clock Greek time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.